Hello and welcome. This is the Market Wrap on BloombergQuint. I'm Agam Vakil, and it's turned out to be a very strong day of trade. Certainly better than what we have been used to off late. And a lot of the gains have come specifically in the second half of the session. A lot of these gains are led by Shree Cement, which is right at the top of your list when it comes to the Nifty 50, up as much as 6%. HDFC advancing. Dr. Reddy's Laboratories with a steady set of earnings also pulling through, along with M&M and BPCL. BPCL, do remember, was one of the biggest gainers through the course of the session. It was only in the last couple of hours that we saw a whole bunch of stocks take over BPCL in terms of gainers. Bharti Infratel remained weak throughout the course of the day. In IndusInd Bank, Hero MotoCorp and Vedanta under a tad bit of pressure, but today is the day where we saw a lot of gains coming in. In fact, we have no more than 7 losers on the Nifty 50. To take you through very quickly the broader markets on the NSE 500 too, we have just one loser against 2 gainers. We have the likes of Minda Corp showing a lot of strength, momentum in IFB Industries, AstraZeneca Pharma, Techno Electric, VMart Retail, as well as something like a CDSL, all showing a lot of gains and on good volumes too. But of course, we have other fashions which is under a tad bit of pressure on Sada Engineering, KPRD Technologies, along with Lemon Tree, among others, which are looking at declines. But if you look at the gainers, the momentum is clearly with those which have advanced. So we are looking at a good trading day. The question is, can we sustain this weakness or this strength? And on that note, I'm going to get in our markets editor, Neeraj Shah, for his thoughts on how things are panning out today. Neeraj, good afternoon.
Hey, good afternoon, Agam. And interesting day of trade, Agam, because I don't think too many people anticipated this. Yes, you could have an odd stray call of some bullishness, but everybody's call was largely that they will short the markets at higher levels. And I think some of those shorts didn't quite work out, because I think quality financials led the gain today, isn't it? I mean, Bajaj Finance and everybody said that they've done some remarkable work in the quarter gone by, at least in terms of the performance. Yes, the guidance was not the most impressive. But hey, I mean, you could see the difference in what they did versus what the other NBFCs did. So I think that, plus the new special liquidity scheme chatter also, or the announcement also, gave some bit of wings to NBFCs and thereby to banks as well. So everything quality did well. HDFC Bank, Bajaj Finance, HDFC was the top gainer, as you said. So I think that, and even the broader end of the spectrum, I think some of these quality NBFC names did go up a bit. So that was cool. I would think that we need Reliance to move, and for the sentiment to stay afloat, even Bharti Airtel to move a little bit, because after that one big hurrah, yes, today was a bit of a flattish move for Bharti Airtel. But tomorrow could be a different day. The screen tells you that the stock refuses to go down, and if Reliance were to inch higher, Bharti Airtel too could well have that second leg of an up move as well, and that could be crucial from a market's perspective. Reliance needing to participate a little bit. There was a sharp drop in the VIX today as well, which was quite interesting. And aside of everything else, Agam, I just think that one thing, a set of stocks that you need to watch out for are these economy opening stocks, right? Maharashtra government has said that there will be some relaxations and some conditions. I think all of that, PVR commentary was reasonably okay about what the opening up could do, so on and so forth. We had the aviation minister saying that airlines could start flying anytime now. So just that sentiment around that might lead to these PVR, Phoenix Mills, Jubilant Food kind of stocks higher. Jubilant, of course, has numbers today. We'll watch out for that as well. But aside of that, I think the set of names, the sentiment is probably slightly near-term positive. But Agam, I don't know how as we've discussed an number of times in the last few days, the positioning of the foreign institutional investors has been far from positive, at least on the cash side.
Yeah, absolutely, Neeraj. And that's a point that everyone's been talking about, considering they have been sellers in the last 6 or 7 days. I'm looking at the options data right now, and the positive is that we are starting to look at a little more writing around the 8,700 mark, which means that based on today's move, a lot of traders are betting against moving below 8,700. certainly before tomorrow's weekly options expiry. As we move into the next week, of course, we will get a lot more in terms of cues from where we're headed. Specifically, should we see the 9,200, 9,300, being taken out, we can expect a lot more strength. But it's still about good 4% away from current market levels. So that is something that we're going to have to watch out for. Once again, I would also argue that a 2% to 3% move these days is not uncommon, which is also the reason why it may not be such a hard task. But again, it's going to be all about positioning. And in terms of FI specifically, Neeraj, as you spoke, while they are selling in cash, they continue to buy in futures, which is why they are hedging their bets. That is that they have already sold, they are buying in. Please, in the near term, it seems like they want to stay in the money.
Yeah, well, let's wait and watch. It promises to be an interesting next couple of days, Agam, because the larger belief is that the market should crack. Can they do something differently? I'm trying to see if we have some queries, and if so, we will try and take them as well. Agam, just one very quick follow-up. What's expected out of Jubilant FoodWorks? Any thoughts here?
We already know from what we've seen in Westlife Development that there will be weakness. And again, as we have experienced, there's no point really talking about, the same-store sales growth number, or for that matter, the way the revenues pan out. That said, we are expecting Jubilant FoodWorks to do relatively better as compared to Westlife because of their deliveries. And well, some may argue that their deliveries have actually taken off quite well. And the number of restaurants have actually shrunk through consolidation over the previous couple of quarters. It is going to be about the delivery model and how well that comes through for Jubilant FoodWorks, and that perhaps is going to be something that I'm going to be watching out for as we move in today.
Okay, yeah. I think we'll watch out for some of these other comments and try and figure out what happens in a scenario like this. But yours, we'll try and do this every day, try and get a bit of a wrap. Would be nice to, if you have some comments or questions, we'll be ready to take them as well today. I can't spot anything on my YouTube. There's something amiss, so I will have to probably excuse me for that. I don't know if Agam can, but I think there is something amiss out there, therefore I can't see it. But viewers, remember, we'll try and do this every day. We talk through what's happened in the market, our observations, and if you have queries, we could actually discuss some of these as well. We could tell you the views of some of the experts too. But I guess, Agam, this is it for today then.
Yes, absolutely. I think we did have one viewer earlier in the day who had a query on InfoEdge. I'm going to very quickly address it. The viewer was InfoEdge a good bet at current levels, considering it has seen quite a knock in today's day of trade? We have to remember that InfoEdge, even at 2,600, 2,700 rupees a share a few days ago, was at extremely high valuations. And we must remember that management has time and again continued to say that their business is tied very much to the economy. And we are going to see a decline in the economy. Well, I reckon a lot of heavy hands will see no reason why InfoEdge should be trading at the mark of 2,500, 2,600, which was the case a few days ago, and which is now being corrected at 2,300 rupees. Which also doesn't necessarily mean that current market levels after that correction may be a good bet. But that's your viewer query. At least that's one thing that we've addressed. But on that note, I am going to take a moment to thank Neeraj for joining us, and of course our team. But that's a wrap on the markets, but there's lots more lined up. Stay tuned to BloombergQuint.